Welcome! The most failed JavaScript interview questions. So yeah, this video is a bit special because in this video I'm going to try to show off my skills in JavaScript, and you can watch me as I suffer through all these questions, which are the most failed ones. I'm not really prepared for what's coming, but you can at least laugh at me for being a bad programmer. And those of you who don't program, who don't know how to code, you can just enjoy my voice as I go through some of these issues. And after the end of the video, you can just leave a like and subscribe and move on with your life. So let's start. I will just read some of the article. I don't think I read it all because this is very long. So let's start. True story. You don't need to know JavaScript well to pass any JavaScript interview. If you do interviews as JavaScript developer from time to time, then you know that the question is such interviewers are always similar, more or less. Okay. Under different phrases, interviewers test your knowledge of the same topics. So there are some topics that they're repetitive. How to change the situation, piece of cake. To do as many exercises as possible across these topics. And the best thing is that most of the time, if you understand some of these concepts, it's gonna be easier. And if you fail a test, that doesn't mean that's like an immediate failure. You can do a test halfway through correctly and they might still accept it. It's your thought process that matters and your ability, your curiosity to solve the issues. Okay, so let's just move to the first question. I don't want to lead all of this. First, event loop. It's hard to imagine JavaScript interview that doesn't mention the event loop. And it's not in vain. The theme is really fundamental and is used daily by every React, Angular, Substitute, or any framework developer. Quiz number 8, only 80% is correct. Ooh, wow, this is a hard one then. As an example, we have chosen a quiz that seems to cover all aspects of this topic. All right, pen. I will use the pen. This time it's going to be useful. Let me check. Okay, it's working. Okay, so we have this. And what's the question? Well, I guess the question is what order it is logged, right? So what we have here is one timeout with 0 latency, then a console log, then a promise, and then another console log. And in the promise, there is a console log within the body, and then within the then when after it's resolved. So how do we approach this? Usually, you take a look at this and check if there are any synchronous requests, because those are probably the ones printed first, like this and that. Well, everything in the promise is usually printed afterwards, except what's here, because this is not asynchronous, only this, because this is after the promise is resolved. So let's go line by line. So set timeout, what happens here? This is still not going to be synchronous because this goes into the queue. The queue, I don't know what it's called, the whatever task queue. And whatever is in the promise goes into the queue as well, but it's not the same one. They were somehow separated, I don't know. So first, everything that's synchronous is going to be printed. Let me hide the pen. So I think this is going to be 1. So yeah, this is going to be first. And then this is the next synchronous task because they follow. So this goes into the queue. This is printed. Then this is printed as second. Then this is printed as third. And now the question is, which one is sooner? This or that? Which queue is sooner? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think the promise queue. So this is 4 and this is 5. So the order of the numbers should be, let me see, this 2, and then 3, and then 5, and then 4, maybe, and then 1. This is my final answer. And how do we test this? Very easy. We're just gonna run this code. Here I have a thing. Oh my god, what did I do? I need to delete these. Goodbye. So this part is my final answer. So let's copy paste the thing and 3, 2, 1. So it's 2, 3, 5, 4, 1. Yeah, baby, nailed it. Okay, let me clear everything. Let's see the explanation. Timeout, promise, and some synchronous code. See, you go through, check what's synchronous. Always the synchronous first. The internet dialog of developer who answered the script correctly might look like this. Given 0 delay, will the function pass the set time will be called synchronously and asynchronously? And the answer is, despite the fact that setTimeout function has 0 delay, the callback function is called asynchronously. So it doesn't matter, it's still asynchronous. The engine will place the callback function into the callback queue. Make macro task queue. There we go. This is the name. And move it to call stack when it's empty. Therefore, the number 1 will be skipped and number 2 will be displayed first in the console. Yes. Will the function passed as an argument to the promise constructor called synchronously or asynchronously? The function that the promise constructor takes as an argument is synchronous. He's talking about this here. See? This is synchronous. This has nothing to do with what's happening next. This is what we need to execute and then do the rest of it, you know. Given 0 delay, will the function we pass as an argument to the promises then handle code synchronously or asynchronously? Definitely asynchronously. The callback in the then method is executed asynchronously, even though the promise results without a delay. The difference with setTimeout is the engine will place the promise callback in another queue, the job queue, microtask queue. See? Macro, micro, where it will wait for its turn to be executed. Therefore, the next number that enters the console is 5. What has more priority, microtask queue or the macro? And promises or setTimeout, you know. And promises have a higher priority than the macrotask setTimeout. So the next number in the console will be 4 and the last is going to be 1. And this is what I didn't know, which one is which. So I just guessed and I guessed right. So I was kind of right, but I didn't know why. Now I know. See? Sometimes I learn new stuff. Okay, next is about the context. This is also very, very important. Question about context catch up even experienced developers. For example, only 29% don't solve this naughty but essentially simple task. So you don't have to feel bad. Don't have to feel bad. These are very hard tasks. So, quiz number, I think this is not right, but whatever. So use strict. There is a function called foo, and which console logs this. Okay, then a call foo, which accepts a function parameter, which then calls this function. And then there's an object, which has a property called foo. And the call foo, which has the only property, which is the foo, which is this. And in the call foo, we say call, oh my God, where's the pen? This is going to be hard. So in this call, into the call foo, we input this object which has the property foo. Oh my God. Let's deal with the spaghetti here. Everything here, I believe, is a reference to anything. And this is going to play a role here, this use strict. I believe this is not an accident. So let's just try to deal with this. So this object.foo is actually this, right? Yes. And so into the call foo enters this. So basically what happens here is this goes in here and this is executed. So basically this is executed. So this is just spaghetti. It's like a circle. It's just nothing happens. And the question is, what's the value of this? What's the this? I don't think there's anything tricky here. Is as this is all of just to like mix you up in your head. So what happens here is just simply the foo function is called, which prints out this, which in normal case is the window object, but we said use strict, see, remember. And when we use use strict, I think then it becomes the parent whatever scope becomes undefined. And I think the answer to this question is undefined, I believe. Yeah, let me take a look at the answer. I mean, let me take a look at the code. Let's execute the code. There we go. Here's the console. Let me clear it. And it's undefined. Yeah, baby. Oh, in my head. I'm so smart. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I just went through it logically, you know, and I know some stuff and that just worked out. What has happened? Let's see the explanation. The value of this is set at the time that the function is called. in the example, so it doesn't matter what you do, this is always set when it's called, okay? In the example, object foo function is passed as an argument from another call foo function which calls it without the context. In normal mode, when there is no execution context and the code is running in the browser environment, this refers to the window object. In strict mode, it is undefined. We can even test this, I think. If I go just back and remove useStrict, and there it is. Can you see it? There's the window. There's the window. See? It's the window. So it's undefined. Correct answer. But even if you set the window, I think that's not a bad one, because you just, maybe you say, I just didn't see this. So it's fine. 28% of correct answers to the next one. Another common interview question is the value of this inside an arrow function. Okay, so what we know about the arrow functions. In arrow functions, this is inherent from the parent scope, so the scope above. So here we also use useStrict. I think that's some to mess you up, because you already know what happened here. So we have two variables, x and y, both are 5, and now we have a function which accepts x and y, or op1 and op2, and this dot x and this dot y becomes op1 and op2. Okay, so and in this function prototype, which I guess we are going to use it as an object, yeah. So in the prototype function, we define the sum function as an arrow function of this dot y and this dot x and this dot y, and then we do new operations, and then the question is what's going to be the sum. So is it going to be the sum of these two, so the arguments, or is it going to be the sum of these two? And this is a really interesting question, because it depends, and I don't think I know the answer, to be honest. If it's determined when the function is basically when it's declared, so here, then it's going to be 5 plus 5, it's going to be 10. When it's determined when the function is called, in that case it's going to be within this object scope, so within the operation scope, and in that case it's going to be 30. I think, and I don't see the answer here, don't worry, I think it's defined during declaration, because the arrow function works just differently, and I think it's fixed right here. So we define this arrow function within the global scope, which is basically here, and so this dot x and this dot y is referring to this and this. I mean, it's reverse, but yeah, you know. I think this is going to be 10. I think this is going to be 10, but I'm not entirely sure. Let's check. I'm very, very interested. So let me clear the console. Let's do, and it's 10! Baby. Oh, baby, this is a triple. This is a triple. In 3 times I was right. I don't know. This was also just like, I didn't know. This was just a guess. 50-50 guess. And the explanation, the arrow functions don't have their own this. Yeah. Instead of this, inside the arrow function's body points to the this value into the scope the arrow function is defined within. So yeah, this is what I said. It was defined within this global scope. Our function is defined in the global scope. See? This in global scope refers to the global object, even in strict mode. Therefore, the answer is 10. Oh, I didn't even care about that. See, that could like really just mess you up, because this global scope there is like, if you print out this, is going to be undefined, and suddenly it isn't. So yeah, something to learn. Okay, more. An experienced interview, aka devil, might ask you about arrow functions in a different context as well. For example, only 28% answered the following question. Oh my god, what's this? So there's this operations, which we are going to call as a function. It returns an object with a sum of there's an arrow function which returns the argument 0 and this cof. But as far as I know, that this doesn't exist in arrow functions, or does it? Because if it does, then it's gonna print 1 plus this 0.1, right? So the coef is 0.1. Wait, so here we go. So if I think the catch is that this thing, I don't think that this exists. This refers to arguments of this function and not this function. I don't think that exists here. This I don't think that's that. So in that case, what's happening here? Argument 0 is coef and also coef. So it's 0.1 plus 0.1. See, because this is this and this is also this, except if I'm wrong, because if this exists, then this is this. So then it's 1.1. Otherwise it's 0.2. And I think the answer is 0.2. I have a gut feeling. I don't know. I'm not sure. See, this is getting worse. But let me try. I want to try it. And 0.2. Yes, baby. Yeah. Okay. So what's the explanation? Arrow functions do not have their own argument object. Instead, the argument is a reference to the arguments of the enclosing scope. So yeah, so this is this. I mean, this is this. Okay, so I just guessed it right. I didn't know the answer, I just guessed it. That's quadruple kill. Another question is about arrow functions may look like the following. Another one. Why another one? Okay, so what's this? We have a constant which has the what? This dot get num 10 and then prototype get num 20, and the question is, what is this? What is the get num, right? So when you do this, where is the pen? So when you do this, so this get num and this one is the same. It references the same, and you try to change it from the outside, you refer to the prototype. So this should print out 20, right? Because I've just overwritten it. I can do that. I can very likely do that. Unless there's some sort of trick here. I don't know. I think it's 20. Unless there's a trick. Let's try. Am I going to be right 5 times after one another? I don't think so. What's the... Oh. Cannot set properties is undefined. Oh. Does that mean we can't do... the arrow function can't be a constructor, right? Explanation. Arrow functions cannot be a constructors, and it will throw an error when called with new. Oh, yeah. So this is the expected. Oh my god. So this is the expected output. This is what. Oh my god. I didn't know this. See? This is only 4 out of 5. Okay, we got this. Variable scope. Topic is worth exploring not only because of the popularity across the interviews, but also practical reasons. You understand variable scope? Well, you save a lot of time from debugging. Okay, yeah. Variable scope 1, I think that's one of the most important parts of learning JavaScript. It's the terror, but once you understand it, it's going to be better. And to this day, I don't think I know everything. Let's find out if I know. Okay, so once again, we go strict mode and console log foo and set bar equals bar with let, and this is important, this let keyword, and then in the foo we return bar and set bar to buzz. Just by looking at it, I think this is going to throw an error, because this variable right here is a scope variable and it doesn't exist in the function. If this was var, I think it would work. It would work. With let or const, it doesn't. So let's try. It's going to throw an error that doesn't exist. Yeah, there. it throws an error. Bar is not defined, right? So just by out of curiosity, what happens if I do it with var? Bar has already been declared. What? Oh, I need to reload. I need to reload. And now it's buzz. Perfect. Okay. Don't need these errors. Okay. Explanation. The place in the scope before the letcons variable definition is called a temporary dead zone. If we try to access letcons variable before they are defined, a reference error will be thrown. To easily remember how language works, it's helpful to understand why it works. This behavior was chosen because the const variables, when accessing a var variable before it's defined, we get undefined. This would be unacceptable for const variables because then it would not be constant. The behavior let variables was done in an analogous way so that you can easily switch between these two types of variables. Returning to our example. Because the function call is above the definition of the bar variable, the variable is in a temporary dead zone. The code throws an error, cannot access bar before initialization. Okay, I was incorrect because this is above. This is above. So if I were to move this, oh my god, get away. So if I were to move this here, then see, it would work. It would work. It's not because they can, I deeply apologize. I was incorrect. Although I knew the answer, it was incorrect and not for the reasons I thought it was. Okay, so another one, 33% correct answers. We create a function foo and add it to the return hello and type of foo. What's the type of foo? I don't think foo exists here. It's undefined, right? Oh no, it's not undefined. See, I didn't know this either. Oh my god, I'm so dumb. Explanation. The name function instruction's name is local only to the function body and not available from out. Oh, wait. I need to reload. Okay, now. It's undefined. I was correct because the previous code was already executed and there was a foo. Oh my god, I thought I'm dumb. The name function expression's name is local only to the function body and is not available from outside, so foo doesn't exist in the global scope. Oh, thank God I knew this. The type of operator returns undefined for not defined variables. The following example is not recommended for use in real life, but you should know how this code will work, and at least in order to satisfy the interest of the interviewer. So foo, function foo, which has a bar parameter, and also this function which returns bar, and also we declare bar, and we log the get bar. And get bar is this, and get bar returns bar. So the question is if we call this function here. So the question is if we do this, it does this. And the question is, will this or this bar used? And I don't know. I think it's kind of, for some reason, I think it's bound to this scope. And I think this is going to print 5. I don't know why. I just have a gut feeling again. I don't know. I think it's tricky, but I can't explain why. So this is not a win. Okay, let me try this monster. It's 5. I'm a magician. This is magic. I don't know why though. Oh my god, I'm so dumb. For a function that complex parameters destructing default values, the list of parameters is enclosed in its own scope. Okay, therefore, creating a bar variable in the function body does not affect the variable of the same name in the parameters list, and the getBar function gets bar from its parameters via closure. So they are basically enclosed here, as I guessed. Generally speaking, we have noticed despite the fact that the ES6 has been released from more than 7 years, its features remain poorly understood by developers. Of course, everyone knows the syntax of the features in this release, but only a few understand it deeper. ES6 modules. Oh, there's more. We console log index.js. Okay, then import sum from the helper, and I think this is the helper, and then console log sum. And what's the helper? We console log we are in helper, then export a constant sum of x and y. And what's the problem here? I don't see a problem. It's gonna print 3. No, I can't even test this. I can't test this, I can just guess. So import the sum, and which is this, from the helpers, which is this, and it's gonna be 3. Hoisting is a mechanism in JS where variables and functions declarations are moved to the top of their scope before the code is executed. All dependencies will be loaded before the code runs. Okay, so the answer is, oh, helpers.js, index.js, and 3. Oh, so I should have guessed which. Oh, so I didn't know the answer. Because if they're hoisted, so this is what we run. Because if it's hoisted, then it gets before this console log, right? This is what he's trying to say. See, helpers.js, index.js, and then it's 3. Okay. Okay. So another question. Okay, so view strict var num equals 8. Function num returns 10. So the problem is that we have the same declaration, right? And the question is, what are we gonna get here? What are we gonna get 10 or are we gonna get 8? And as far as I know, and I don't want to reveal the answer, and I think I know the answer to this one, is during hoisting, where is the pen? During hoisting, function declarations are moved first, and then variable declarations are the second, right? Even though this may seem that this is going to be 10, actually this overrides this, and it's going to be 8. Am I dumb? I think so. Let's try. Let's try this. Let me clear this. And it's 8. It's 8. See, I'm not that dumb. What are you talking about? Explanation. Functions and variable declarations are placed at the top of their scope, and the initialization variables occur at the time of script execution. Repeated declarations of a variable with the same name are skipped. Okay. Functions are always hoisted first. In whatever order the declaration of a function and variable with the same name occur in the code, the function takes precedence because it rises higher. So it declared the function. Okay, so example 1, function num, var num, constant type of num, it's function. Yeah. Oh, no, what did I do? No. Okay, it's a function because it's not redeclared. That's what it's trying to say. Okay. Function num, it's still a function because this is moved top and it's not overwritten. Variables are always initialized at the very end. So this will be transformed into the num, and then var num, this is repeated declaration, so this is ignored, and then it equals 8, so the result is 8. So I was not entirely correct because this declaration was like this var num and the num equals 8, so it's separated into 2 parts, and the var num is ignored because it's a repeated declaration because we already have a function with the name of that. Or so that's it. Oh my god, there's more. Oh my god, do you remember they said about modules are hard? Modules plus hoisting can blow the mind of any programmer. Okay, so we import foo from this module and we check the type of foo is 25. Export default function foo. Oh, so we create a new function, and the question is that what's gonna be? Is it gonna be this, and is it gonna be an empty function? Oh my god, is it gonna be a function or is it gonna be an integer, a number? If I follow the rules of the hoisting before, then this is going to be 25. Because this declaration then is going to be moved. So where is the pen? So this declaration is going to be moved on top of the scope, and then we override foo with 25, and this export default so is goes here, regardless that we just say here the function, but it's going to export foo, and I think it's going to be like type of number or what, I don't know what's the type of that. So it's not going to be the function, I think. Explanation. Export default function foo is equal to function foo and foo as default. Yeah, I'm going to be right. And it's time to remember the functions that are hoisted and variable initials that always happen after the function variable declaration. After the engine processes the module code, you can imagine it in the following form. Function foo, foo equals 25, export foo. So the correct answer is a number. Yeah, come on, baby, come on. Oh no. Promises. I thought it's over. It's never over. How long is this video gonna be? Oh my god, no one is gonna watch this. Surprisingly, programmers know the topic of promises better. I don't care. So what's the 46%? Also, this isn't that hard, right? So there's promise where we resolve one. So then we throw an error, and then console log, and then catch an error, and then another promise, and then catch, and then oh my god. So let's try to do the pen method. So this starts here, and then it throws an error, and then I think this is skipped because we're going immediately into the catch. So we're going to console log error 1 here, right? Because this goes here. No, I mean this goes here. Okay, and then we start another promise with 2, and because this always returns a promise, I think it goes into not the catch, but into this final thing, right? So this catch is ignored and it goes here. So this goes into here. So then it's so it's printed then 2. So it's error 1 then 2. This should be on the thing, on the console. But you know what? Let's just try. Let's just try if I'm right. It's gonna let me clear this. Let's try. Ooh, I'm nervous. Yes! Yes! Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Let's see how this code will be executed step by step. Yeah, the first then handler throws an error, so it's a rejected promise. So this doesn't execute and goes into the catch, right? Next handler doesn't fire because an error was thrown. Instead, execution moves to the next catch. Yes, the catch handler prints an error and returns an empty promise. The catch handler, like the then handler, always returns a promise. Yes, so it continues. So then, because this returned the promise, then it goes to this. Then the catch handler then handler always returns, because the catch handler returned the promise. The next then handler is called and returns a promise with a value of 2. And then the last then handler is called and prints 2. Oh, I just explained it. Almost identically. So what's this? Conclusion. Always we want to encourage you to keep learning the language you write every day. Okay. So what do you think? How bad am I? I don't even know how many questions I answered correctly, but I think this wasn't the best performance of my life, but I'm not ashamed to admit. And the best thing of all this is that I learned new, even though I do JavaScript for a very long time, but you know, sometimes you forget, sometimes you mix up, sometimes you just don't know. And this was very fun. This was really fun. So thank you very much for watching. I really hope you learned something. This was a very educational video for at least myself. So thank you very much for watching again, and see you in the don't forget to like. If you watch this for this long, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta like, you gotta comment, you gotta say, oh my god, can you not? No, question number, whatever. How are you so dumb? How are you making videos and you don't even know what you're talking about? You know what? This is reality. But like, most YouTubers were prepared themselves, and that's fine. This is how we should educate people, but I don't feel I am. I want to show you that even experienced developers can have oopsies and stuff that they don't know. And the most important thing is that you try to learn and you stay curious. So leave a like, subscribe, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.